Tonight, the Electoral Commission exceeds limited voter registration target by more than 200,000 people. We'll hear from the Electoral Commission, which says it feels vindicated in its decision to limit the voter registration to district centers.
Some are already in the court, but the way we met, they all read that a good job has been done. None of them complained, not a single one. None of them complained.
They are fundamental.
None of them complained that we have disenfranchised anybody. Not a single one.
We have exclusive details from an inter-party advisory committee meeting where the EC says even political parties that had sued them over the registration exercise were left impressed with the outcome of the exercise.
The figures does not support that assertion. The figures does not. Because to get 900,000 voters out of 1.3 projection is not easy.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. It has emerged tonight that the Electoral Commission has exceeded the limited voter registration target by more than 200,000 people. Now, the exercise ended 48 hours ago. A number of opposition parties, including the National Democratic Congress, sued the EC, claiming the Commission's refusal to decentralize the process will disenfranchise eligible voters. Well, today the EC called an inter-party advisory committee meeting with the parties. And I'll tell you pretty shortly whether or not the NDC represented in this particular meeting. Well, it is emerging that some of the parties, including critical civil society representatives in this particular IPAC meeting, all made a U-turn, endorsing the EC's work. Listen to Dr. Sribo Kweku. He is the EC's Director of Electoral Services.
What I have here, we registered 910,996 voters.
900,000 plus people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that meet your target? Because you had a target of 700,000.
Exactly. So you have answered the question. So normally, like I said that because registration is not composed in Ghana, if there are 10 people who are qualified to register, you don't expect all of them will register.
Now the process has ended. Considering what you've just told us, what's your assessment of your ability? Because the main concern was you're going to disenfranchise people. It's going to far-flung, difficult to reach. People will have to commute there and they won't be, and so people will stay back and not register. What's your assessment now? Now we now know what the outcome is. What does the EC say to that criticism now?
Well, you and I will know the figures. So if you look at the figures, you can draw your own conclusion whether the criticisms were justified. For us in the Electoral Commission, it is beyond our expectations. So we will say, and I mean, for now, when we met the parties and the rest, nobody complained.
Today?
Yes.
In the IPAC meeting?
Yes.
None of the parties complained?
None. Those who
but the parties that were in IPAC, even without the NDC, some of them said what?
Some are already in the court. But the way we met, to me, and I could call a lot of, I wouldn't be mentioned the news, they all read that a good job has been done.
NDC had joined forces with some of them.
So today, we made reference to those who are in court. And they agree that we have done a good job.
So they gave you thumbs up. They endorsed the work you've done.
The case, because they have gone to court, I wouldn't want to say much, but none of them complained. Not a single one. None of them complained.
Their fundamental concern that you're going to disenfranchise people with your decision. So, and today they're telling you in IPAC.
None of them complained that we have disenfranchised anybody.
But did they admit they were wrong?
Oh, we didn't discuss that because this is before court. But now they are all interested in the adjudication process and nobody's complained about the so-called disenfranchising people and also...
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they didn't complain?
No, I'm saying that because the figures does not support that assertion. The figures does not. Because to get 900,000 voters out of 1.3 projection is not easy.
You said IPAC also had civil society representation today.
And the developer partners.
The civil societies had also criticized you.
That's what I'm saying.
How did they also react in IPAC today?
Normally IPAC is for political parties and the Electoral Commission. But once in a while we give them the opportunity to speak. So I think about 2 of them talked about it, and like I said, nobody has any case to complain about.
Even the civil society?
They are thinking of going forward.
Even the civil society groups? Yes. Was Kodeo represented today?
Yes.
Because Kodeo, I spoke to Kodeo many times, and they were very, very clear that what you were doing was wrong, and you should change the tactics and position the centers closer to people.
At the meeting today, they did not complain. That's what I would say.
Those who are in court, did they indicate if they would take the case out of court then?
No, we did not discuss the court issue. All. We did not discuss the court issue. But the question again is, they are ready to be part of adjudication. Now the judicial adjudication is coming out of the compilation of the register. So that is conclusive enough to tell something.
So they moved on from what you said. They moved on from this. Okay. Would you expect then that this case in court will be withdrawn?
Oh, I have not gone to court. The Electoral Commission has not gone to court. So it depends on what they themselves would talk about. But today the environment was so friendly, cordial, and then the rest of it. So let's see how.
Well, once again, the main opposition, National Democratic Congress, boycotted the IPAC meeting today. But Dr. Siribo Kweku says the NDC will be informed. In fact, they will be sent the minutes of today's meeting.
I personally engage a lot of them outside the IPAC and those also. But I know God will one day they will come.
I mean, considering the outcome today, would the EC beyond IPAC reach out to them? At least to let them know what the outcome had been?
They're reaching out. We understand that they are always welcome. So every meeting that we are conveying, we invite them. When we finish, we send them copies of the minutes. So we continue to do that. And the irony of it is that other committees that are formed out of IPAC meetings, we invite them, they bring their reps. For example, this meeting I was talking of, we have said that the MPP and NDC should have permanent feature, so they are bringing reps. The other parties will also join and bring, I think, 3 reps or whatever. And
for the adjudication?
Yes, and those who are in saying that they are there, so they should be given the right to represent, not those who are not coming. But nobody in Ghana will doubt the fact that NDC is a prominent party in Ghana that is good to be with them when you are taking decisions. So we in the Electoral Commission appreciate their importance in decision making. So the adjudication committee said that MPP will bring one, they will also bring one.
So how would they hear about this?
Like I said, every meeting that we hold, we send the minutes of the meeting.
Oh, so you also send, regardless of the fact that they are...
Every meeting that we hold, since they left, we send them invitation.
So you expect all...
Invitation will go and the minutes will go to them.
Okay, so...
And the minutes will tell you everything that... Before now, they might have heard what has transpired, so they will come.
Okay, so you expect that although they were not part, they will nominate their person for the...
Exactly. We did the same for the modalities committee and the nominated people. So this one, we know they will come. Okay.
I want to bring in 2 of the political parties who joined the NDC to sue the Electoral Commission over this particular matter. Joining me right now is the founder and leader of the Liberal Party of Ghana, Percival Kofi Akpaloo. Mr. Akpaloo, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Hello.
Great to have you. Also joining me is Osei Kofi Akwa. He's a national youth organizer of the CPP, another party that also joined the NDC to sue the EC on this particular matter. Mr. Akpaloo, so today your representative was part of the political parties that met the EC today in this IPAC meeting. And from what the EC says, when they were presented with the outcome of the limited voter registration exercise, they agreed that the EC had done a good job because they've registered 200,000 more people than they had targeted.
Evans, good evening. In fact, we are not happy with the outcome of events. If EC is saying that because we did not complain, we are happy. No, we are not happy. Because, you see, EC should admit that they have denied a lot of people the opportunity to be on the register. Because on the daily basis, if they will confirm this, every day the number keep on escalating, the number keep on increasing. So if the number keep on increasing even to the last day, it should tell you that people are getting the awareness now. So many people have not been able to register, more than the number that have registered so far.
Yeah, Mr. Palu, you founded the party. You went to court. Your representative was in this meeting where the EC gave details of this, and you chose to say nothing. In fact, from what the EC said, it was very cordial. That silence is clearly an endorsement of the process, having seen the evidence. They targeted 700,000 people. They registered 900,000. Clearly, that's evidence that you can't fight with.
You see, this one, you set your own questions and you mark. You understand? You set your own questions and then you mark yourself and say, you targeted 700,000, you'll be able to do 900,000, so you've done what? They've not done anything. They've not done anything. The EC should not be happy with this. They should rather sit down and reflect and know that many people have not been able to register. Even if they are to open it today, the people who register today will be more than the people who registered yesterday.
So why didn't you raise this then in this meeting with the EC when you were briefed?
Myself, I wasn't available at the meeting, and I told my general secretary who was there to raise this. So I'm yet to find out from him.
Well, the EC says your general secretary did. Your general secretary did not.
I'm yet to find out from him.
Well, and to quote Dr. Sribo Kweku, you realize that they've done a good job.
You see, Dr. Sribo is a friend, and I don't want us to be arguing on this, but he knows very well that EC has a lot to do. There are so many people out there who need to be on the register, who are eager to register, but they were denied the opportunity to register. So many people, more than the people who have registered. There are so many people out there who are ready and eager to register, but they were not giving them the chance. So many people went there and they couldn't get their name on the register. They have to go home. So Dr. Koku should not say what he's saying.
Yeah, also with me is Osei Kofi Akwa. He's a national youth organizer of the CPP, another of the four political parties, still in court, by the way. So, Ms. Akwa, you are in court with the EC. And yet today you have an opportunity when they told you the outcome of the registration to register that protest, and you did not.
Good evening, Evans Mensah, and good evening to your listeners. First of all, let me protest the fact that you keep making the comment that the CPP joined the NDC to go to court. No. Political parties who were not in agreement with the proposal by Electoral Commission decided to go to court. And one of those political parties happened to be the NDC, and we, the CPP, as well. So it's not as if we are tied to the NDC because the NDC decided to take a decision. We decided to join the suit. No. We were individual political parties who were not happy with the decision of the Electoral Commission to hold that limited registration at the premises of their offices. And we decided to go to court, and the NDC was part of it. So it is a group of political parties who decided to go to court. So let's settle that. Let us also point out the inconsistency in the Electoral Commission's statement. One of the APAC meetings, they told us they were looking for to register 1.2 million people. That is during the limited registration. Then at another time, they said they were looking for to register 1.5 million people. And so if they have registered 900,000 people, It is nothing to write home about. I wonder what they are beating their chest about.
Because the target was 700,000.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That the 200,000 is nothing to write home about. You were looking forward at one point in time to register 1.2 million people.
Well, the EC explained today on the subject of the 1.5. They said 1.35 million people was based on the original calculations, but that wasn't the target they set for themselves, based on the statistical service.
So what informed that original? What position? What informed it?
Well, they were categorical that it wasn't a target they said. That the real target they said was 700,000. That they had just done an analysis.
The Electoral Commission is trying to find a way to as well paint a good picture. This is the point. The Convention People's Party were categorical. Look, most of the people you are trying to register who have just turned 18 years and above are mostly students. So the Coalition of National Youth Organizers, which is the youth organizers of the APC, the CPP, the PNC, the GCBP, and the PPP, okay, told the Electoral Commission that looking forward to this limited registration you want to do, create what we call temporal polling stations. What it means is that, most of the students are in Lagos. Most of the students are in K University. Most of the students are in the training colleges and the nation training colleges and even the senior high schools. So what you do is that create a temporal polling station there where a person from, say, Kumbungu, who is a student at Lagos, can go and register. So what you do is that you take the person's biodata and everything. You take the fingerprints, that's the biometric and everything. But when it comes to giving the person the polling station code, you will find out from him or her where their parents or where they have been having their elections, the polling station they have been voting in Kumbungu. And so let's say I am in Lagos. I'm from Kumbungu community, but my parents and my father and everybody have been voting at Kumbungu DAGSS. All right. So after my biometrics, after my biodata and everything, you give me a polling station code at Kumbungu DAGSS where my parents have been voting, so that even though I may be on vacation during the 7th December elections, I can still cast my vote at Kumbungu DAGSS.
Yeah, and
this did not set up temporary police stations at the universities, the technical universities, and all those things, and they are beating their chest.
Yeah,
people have been disenfranchised.
Yeah, Mr. Akwa, this is the reason why you went to court. You're claiming that people have been disenfranchised.
So what I'm saying is that
you claim that people have been disenfranchised. The EC says the numbers does not support that particular conclusion. I bet you were not in the IPAC meeting today yourself, were you?
No, I wasn't. My national organizer was there.
Okay.
He preached to me about it. Now.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't there, but surprised that, according to the records and the Cerebral Kwaku's own sessions, that your representative who was in the meeting listened to the briefing, listened to the outcome, and in essence, from what Dr. Cerebral Kwaku says, there was an agreement that they've done a good job. Are you surprised that is what the outcome was of this?
Evans, I've spoken to my representative who was there. That is the national organizer of the CPP, Moses Yimambo Ambe. And these are his words. What Dr. Cerebral Kwaku told you is not the truth. That is not what my national organizer said.
Okay, so
my national organizer challenged Dr. Bosman Asari that if they had listened to we, the CPP, and other political parties, and decentralized the whole thing to the electoral areas, created temporary polling stations like we suggested, they could have got more numbers, and that this job they have done is nothing but a waste of the taxpayers' money. These are the words of my national organizer. So I'm surprised Dr. Cerebral Kwaku is telling you that my national organizer applauded them for whatever they've done. They've done nothing.
Okay, stay with me. I quickly want to bring in another man who was in this particular IPAC meeting today. He is the national coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, Mr. Albert Kofi Aheng. Mr. Aheng, you were in this meeting. What's your own... what happened in this meeting? If you listen to Cerebral Kwaku, is very, very clear that all of you, including civil society reps, when this was presented, nobody made any comment on this, and the silent conclusion was, good job done. What happened?
Yes, even from my point of view, I think I was amazed at the fact that, people agreed to the fact that, yes, it was a success. But you see, I was worried And I wanted to see political parties get up to talk about the fact that for them, maybe they would not have gone that far. We didn't send people to the field, but I was listening to the radio, following it most of the time. And the impression, or what I heard and saw on most of the television, was the fact that the political parties were hiring vehicles, busing people from all over to go to these district centers to go and to go and register. And I was amazed that, with all these problems that they had, and at a point in time, they were even buying food and giving them transportation, because sometimes the people get to these registration centers, they are not able to register, and they have to sleep and come back the following day. So they were bearing all these costs. And I was amazed that nobody was able to say anything about this, and rather acquiesced that, this thing went on well. And when Mr. Kweku was talking, they were sitting there, and I was surprised. You see, yes, it may have gone on fine, but at the expense of the political parties, because they maneuvered, they tried, and they helped to bring these people to the center. And if you've been listening to Kodeo, we have been saying all along that create centers closer to these district offices. Maybe in a constituency, you may have about 4 satellite police stations or registration centers. And I particularly even mentioned the Afram Plains, where people were to take a boat to come to Dokokru. You see, so I was expecting the parties to have actually enumerated some of the problems they went through.
And you say that they did not.
They did not.
And you also say and you were part of the meeting, that from what you observed, there was a tacit agreement that this was a success.
Yes. That was I was surprised.
Okay.
I was surprised because I was expecting them to have said that, okay, if it was a success, this is what we did, this is our contribution, how we made it succeed. Because you and I know that the parties, even contrary to the regulation, were busing people to these centers. They were busing them.
And I'm curious, because could they also raise similar concerns? Did you also raise these issues after the briefing?
No, I didn't raise, because you see, when the people who were really concerned were not even talking, they were the people who spend money buying food for them, getting them transport to go up and down. They were sitting there. If they were not talking, how could you even raise an issue like that?
In other words, you didn't want to cry more than the bereaved.
Yes, more than the bereaved. They themselves were happy with it. So what do you do? How do you talk?
Do you get a sense?
I hope you get where I'm coming from.
I do. Do you get a sense on the back of what has happened today that this then becomes a template? Because the EC says it's been very successful. The parties, I agree, yes, in this meeting, that it may become a template that going forward we just see these registrations.
No, from my personal point of view, this should not be a template. You see, look at the ordeal, the way people suffered before getting to these centers. It should not be made something that should last. That every time we should be registering people at the district offices, and the hazard, the trouble people went through. I'm happy that when they do it next year, it's going to be at the various police stations. But if they should do it again at the district center or district centers, then they should have satellite registration centers. In a constituency, you may have about 4 or 5 of them, so that it will ease. It will really facilitate people so that they can move easily to these satellite centers.
Evans.
Mr. Aqua, yes?
Yes, Evans, I think we have to set some record straight. First of all, the comments by our friend from Kodeo is very, very unfortunate that, you're supposed to be an independent observer of the whole thing and also make a contribution. He did not see the need to make contribution. And now he's accusing the political parties for sitting silent throughout the meeting. First of all, let's not forget that the political parties are in court with the Electoral Commission. We have sued the Electoral Commission. We have taken the Electoral Commission to court. So that is a way of speaking loud that we are not happy with the whole exercise. That is one. 2, I want to ask him whether my national organizer, Mambo Moses Amden from the CPP, did not challenge Dr. Shibo Kweku that if they had listened to the Convention People's Party, they could have done more than they have done. if we didn't say that. So it is unfortunate.
No. Hold on. You raised a question. Did anybody, Mr. Ahing, with respect, did anybody raise any question when this was read out, challenge the EC or anything to that sort?
I didn't see any serious challenge to that assertion. So far as I'm concerned, maybe I wasn't listening or something, I don't know. But when we closed and were even coming back to the office, the colleague who went with me, we were discussing this on the vehicle. That the very people who were to be discussing it and pointing out that maybe next time they should do this and that, they acquiesced. If there was only one person who even said, how about the rest? Well, there were more than 5-6 political parties in the room at the time. And they were quiet.
The reason why we did not put up a fight, we did not bite and shout and all that is because we believe the court of competent jurisdiction, which is going to hear this case, is going to do this justice for us.
Okay. Ms. Akwa, thank you very much. Albert Ahing, I'm grateful that you joined us. He's the national coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers. Thank you that you joined us. Earlier you had Mr. Kofi Apalu, who obviously also says that they still remain unhappy with that particular process. Still listening to Top Story on Joy 99.7 FM. Another key story we are following for you tonight. The National Investment Bank has denied claims that its managing director stayed away from Ghana for long periods and resorted to managing the bank via Zoom. Now, government has been considering a proposal that will see the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB, acquire the NIB. Now, the NDC minority last week at a press conference warned they will resist the proposed acquisition that will merge the two banks, claiming it will lead to job losses. The minority spokesperson on finance, Isaac Adongo, speaking on Top Story, alleged part of the problem with NIB is that the managing director stayed in Canada for almost a year and Zoom managed the bank from there. Well, the bank has issued a statement setting the record straight on the matter. My colleague James Aveji joins me with details of this. James?
Yes, Evan. So part of that statement says that, quote, to set the record straight, we would like to point out that the managing director, the subject of the unsavory commentary, is entitled to annual vacation or leave days that are set by policy for all employees of the bank, and he has been taking same whenever the need arises, subject to the approval of the board. Now, whenever it becomes necessary to travel out of the country, due approval had always been sought from the board and is reported to the bank, the Bank of Ghana, the regulator, as required. Now, it continues that the board is profoundly satisfied with the exceptional dedication and hard work exhibited by our management team. Their unwavering commitment to our institution's stability and success is truly commendable and reassuring. It is our firm belief that necessary as it may be for progress and the common good of the country, public discourse must always be grounded in truth and evidence, and it is essential that public figures maintain the highest standards of honesty and integrity when making statements that may tend to influence the public opinion, misleading or false statement erode trust and undermine the principles of transparent and accountable society. It concludes that we entreat the general public to critically evaluate information, seek out reliable sources, and engage in informed discussions on important matters. In this era of misinformation, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that truth prevails over falsehoods and that our society remains rooted in facts and evidence. And that statement was signed by Marianne Toure, the head marketing and corporate communications of the NIB.
Thank you, Aveji. Well, last week, Thursday, it was here on Top Story. We spoke to the minority spokesperson on finance, Isaac Adongo, following that press conference by the minority in Parliament on the proposed acquisition of the National Investment Bank by the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB. During that interview, Mr. Adongo made the claim referred to in the NIB statement you just heard. We are unable to independently verify that claim, and we duly apologize to the managing director for any injury this might have caused him and the bank. News Night in a minute.